Welcome to the channel, everyone. It is Bulldog1205, and today we're going to take a look at our first no bull review in quite a while as we look at an honest, minimally biased review of Elumia.
Aether, decentralized cloud infrastructure for gaming and AI.
All right, so this is our first no bull review in quite a while, so I want to kind of break down what I mean by this, because we're going to go through and take a look at games and really dive into honest opinions. This is not going to be a shill video. This is not going to be a fluff video, because I just think we see too much of that in Web3, and we see too many content creators, including myself a lot in the past, who are afraid to get overly critical about games. And we know there are a lot of Web3 games that are quite simply just trash, right? But people are afraid to say that, because so much of this game, so much of content creation in Web3 really comes from sponsorships and building connections and connecting with whales. And a lot of this community is just very small, and it's not easy if you're saying negative things about a game that might tick off whales that are heavily invested in the game, maybe the token, whatever the case is, and can have a lot of influence on what type of other collabs, partnerships, sponsorships you can get in this niche. And so too many people are just afraid to say that. But one of the nice things about no longer being full-time in Web3, no longer relying on my channel or my Web3 connections to feed my family or anything like that, is that I can kind of take the Elon Musk approach to disagreeing with sponsors and saying, you can't censor me. I'm going to say it anyways. So let's go with the no bull review for Elumia. This is a game that I just live streamed. I did a first look live stream just last week, and I want that to kind of be a trend going forward. Is okay, pick up a game, do a first look live stream of my first dive into the game, come back, maybe do a video on how to earn, how to get started if that's relevant to the game, and then kind of go and do a full no bull review, sit back, kind of do some more research, and really settle and share my opinions on how the game stands as it is right now and kind of project moving forward. So without further ado, let's take a look at Alumia. So Elumia is an MMORPG play to earn game that right now is just very, very simple and very basic. So let's run through how you can play in this game. Right now, you do need an NFT to get started. If we come over to the marketplace, if you'd like to go check one of these out, you can come here, and right now they run a little under $300, which is very expensive to get in. But I do want to make it very clear that that is not a negative. That's actually a positive here, because this was a free mint. It's not that they sold these expensive characters to play. This was a free mint. They just limited the quantity out there because it is a closed test right now. And there has just been a significant amount of demand because they have started the earnings already. So the price has, when I first got this, it was about $400. I got one of these. I've sent it back. I don't own any Alumia assets at the moment. It's about $400. The price has continued to decline. And honestly, I think that's going to continue. We'll get into the token and everything a little bit more later. I don't want to project too much or predict too much about prices or anything with these types of things, but you can come in and pick up one of these characters, and then you can transfer it in the game. The character is your NFT, which I do really like. As you level up your character, your NFT levels up, and if you sell that character or trade that character, whatever the case is, all that level, that stats all stay with that character. So your NFT is the character that you are playing. And you can hop in with this character and you can go earn dust. Dust is essentially the token that is going to have value. You can convert that into another token, which let's come over here. EKS to dust swap. So you can swap dust for EKS. And we'll talk about more about what EKS is. But essentially, the more of this little crystal dust that you collect, the more that you can earn. You can cash out about $4 a day right now. And in order to collect it, you simply go into these dungeons or these portals here, and you go fight monsters and complete quests. The quests are very simple. You the first one was it just go kill X amount of monsters. Those are all the types of quests I've gotten so far. Maybe they have other ones, but so far it's been very simple. It's been a pretty straightforward grind. You come in here, defeat these enemies, gain XP, gain dust, go use the dust to upgrade your character, or use the dust to sell to gain your crypto. And that's kind of about all there is. My biggest complaint is that it's basically a farm right now. And I know what everybody's going to say. Everybody's going to say it is too, or this is a closed beta. As I'm about to get negative on the game. Let's just be honest here. I mean, you knew that by the title, right? It's too early to complain about the game because it's just a closed beta. It's very, very early. If you're allowing people to go pay $400 for a character to get in, and you're starting the inflation on your token and your earnings, it is not too early to criticize the game. We are not too early. The game is essentially released. You can call it closed beta, whatever the case is. The game is essentially released. It is in a released form. I know everybody calls it alpha, pre-alpha, beta, whatever you want. If you're starting your token earnings, allowing people to go buy NFTs, it is not too early to criticize the game. And we are too early to be starting any of those things right now. Because we know what we don't have is, as you watch this gameplay, you see a few skills. That's all the skills you have. 1 auto attack and 3 skills. You don't have a skill tree to progress as you level up. As you level up, you gain stats, but you don't have any control over those stats. You can't customize your stats. That was the first time I leveled up, I was like, I don't get anything for leveling up. The benefit to leveling up is, yeah, you gain random stats that you don't control. Actually, I don't know if they're random. They might be set, whatever. You gain stats that you don't control. And you can then equip higher level weapons. That's about the only interesting thing in the game, is finding these weapons, which aren't really all that interesting. They just have different stats. But there's not a lot of depth to them. And you just go sit out here and grind and kill enemies. Maybe you get an interesting boss every once in a while. Have fun with your party. I can't believe we have an MMORPG that has started releasing their play to earn mechanic that doesn't have a skill tree or player customization. Like, it's hard to even call it an RPG. It's a farm. That's all it is right now. I can't believe on my YouTube video there are all these comments about how awesome this game is. People aren't having fun playing the game. People are having fun earning crypto. That's all. Their free mint value went up and is worth a lot. And they're cashing out $4 to $5 a day by doing this farm. And you're going to see that a lot in Web3 games. If players are earning money and making a profit, the game is great. It's the greatest game ever. If you're losing money, the game is terrible. Because so many people here don't care about the game. You say you want good gameplay, but you want good gameplay only if you're still making a profit. And in the title, I said, is this the worst MMORPG I've ever played? And to me, the answer is yes. The game just isn't good. There's no depth. There's not really anything here. It's basically a farm. But in a weird way, the worst MMORPG I've ever played is actually almost a compliment to a Web3 game. Because 98% of the games I haven't played because there's nothing to play. The fact that I've played the game is actually a compliment to a Web3 game. Because especially the MMORPGs, most of them either never arrived, way behind schedule, or they have arrived or have a playable version, but they just look like trash, so I've never had any interest in actually playing them. I actually watched some of these gameplay footage and thought, okay, this kind of looks cool. I just didn't realize that the 10 seconds of gameplay I saw was about all that there is. But the fact that I have come in and played it and the graphics aren't terrible shows that there is potential here. There is a foundation that you can build from, but we're just nowhere close. Yes, there is a foundation here. Okay, there is absolutely a foundation here, and it could turn into something good. I will fully admit that. But MMORPGs take usually a large team, a lot of money, and a lot of time. It's taken 3 years to get to this point. We are a long way away from this becoming what I would call a good game. Okay, so let's go look at the token and the team and see, can we get there? Is it going to be worth getting there? Come over here to the essentially the white paper. Here's their token. They've got the Alumia crowns, the EKI shards. The shards, from what I can see, have no limit. They're just it's only limited by the number of people playing the game. I feel like that price it's just going to inflate and drop because there's not a lot of use. We've seen this story before, right? The mass inflation on this type of token. What's it look like? Oh, the last 7 days down 40%. Which is why the value of these characters is dropping, because these have been expensive because you can farm $5 a day with them. As that becomes $4, $3, $2, 50 cents, this price would go down. Now, if the token went up, it would do the other way. I mean, we got to acknowledge that. I just don't see anything that's going to drive that token up. It's just been hype. Hype's all that's been driving it right now, and you can only sustain that hype for so long. Let's go look at their tokenomics, though. What about their governance token? Here's its distribution. You can see a large amount locked in advisors, seed sales, strategic sales, private sales, public sales, team, marketing, liquidity. Notice you don't necessarily see anything labeled as a play to earn pool. There's a treasury. I'm not exactly sure what all the treasury goes into that. But one thing I see, 15% marketing for the token. That is a large marketing budget in tokens. And that's always something to pay attention to, because that's going to tell you how many or what quality of influencers are showing the token and showing the product. And I say quality is the number of followers, how much say they have. But when they're paid in these tokens, of course they want to say good things about the game, even if they're not told to say good things about the game, because they're getting paid in the token. If the token goes up, they get paid more. You see a large marketing like this in token dollars, and you're going to see a lot of people showing the token. And I mean, that's simple enough, right? Vesting schedule, I mean, that's just another way of showing all this. Talks about the governance. We won't get into the whole governance rant right now. Not the time. Roadmap. I do see a pet system, pet breeding. You can see they're already behind on the roadmap, which is pretty typical for Web3. A new class. Oh, wait. The next thing up is a mint. New dungeon settings. I don't see anything here about adding skill trees, better character customization, more of your traditional RPG type things. Are those coming? I don't know. I didn't sit through every Twitter space and town hall about what's coming. Can this team build it? So I said it can have potential. It very much can be a foundation. The graphics are not terrible. The graphics I feel like are good enough. Especially this is going mobile. If you saw roadmap, not for a while, but mobile port, end of 2024. So like probably later than that. We do have some backing here from some big names. Animoca Brands is one of the huge ones. You can see a lot of other big names on here. It's always a double-edged shield when you have backing like this. Because why are these companies backing these games? They're backing these games to make money. I mean, that's what they are, right? They're in it to make money. You've got people who have already gotten into the game early to make money. There's a lot of obligations there. That doesn't always mean positive things for a retail investor coming in now, coming in later. But one thing is, it can help with funding and getting the game developed. It absolutely can. And as far as game development, that I would say that is a positive sign. So it just kind of depends on what your core focus is on all of that. Core team here. When I look at this, I'm looking at, okay, this game obviously has a long way to go. Is this a team that I want to get behind and say, yes, I feel like they can go build this? Am I going to be wowed by this team? I'm going to look at the team and say, I don't trust them at all. Core team, Richard, the CEO, couldn't really find out much about him. He doesn't have a LinkedIn. Simon, COO, listed as co-founder, has a LinkedIn, talks about 16 years in experience with executive management and operations. It is in the healthcare sector. It's not in the gaming sector. Alex has a LinkedIn link, but if you click on it, it doesn't exist. So it kind of like looks good. Doesn't actually go anywhere. This was probably the most exciting part I saw. This was a recent addition. I've said I play this game and I'm just blown away about how there's no MMORPG elements to it. Not none, but you're missing a bunch of important ones. This is a guy that knows MMORPGs. He knows what a good game looks like. I never really know what an advisor means as far as how much input they have, how much time they're spending with a team. Is that a 30-minute call a month? Is it meeting several hours a week? I mean, you just never know. But if this person is in their ear, that's gonna be a positive thing. So that was probably the most exciting thing I got from this. I mean, we go to like a lot of these links. Okay, Vadim seems to have good, like for technical art director, had a decent profile, but doesn't even list on his resume. If we go to one of these pages, Alumia, here we go. These are the only 3 people who actually list that they work for Alumia. The co-founder, Jordan, who has by far the most impressive profile, working with Gameloft. I combined Ubisoft and Gameloft. So overall, I definitely want to step up and say, this team can't develop this game. Or this team can't develop this game quickly. But this isn't like, I don't look at this team and see a team that's coming over that's got a bunch of success in Web 2 as a group, or a bunch of big names coming over. Like, nothing screams, yeah, I want to invest in these guys. There's a couple impressive profiles and a whole team of 18 developing MMORPG. Again, there's a foundation there that isn't bad, but it's not crazy good either. All right, so what do you guys think? Does this game have potential? Are you going to invest in this game? Are you interested in this game? Would you bring your Web 2 buddy over who's into MMORPGs and say, look what we're doing in Web 3. Look at Alumia. Look what we've got here. Would they be excited about it? I just think we're too far away. We're too far away. And I'll be monitoring the game, but overall, probably one I'm going to stay away from a while. Agree or disagree? Let me know in the comments. Let me know if you like no-bull reviews like this. Am I too harsh? Am I still am I still buttering the game up too much by saying it has some potential still? Am I still giving it more credit than it deserves? Is it still too much fluff? What do you guys want? Let me know. We're going to do more of these. If you like it, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and I'll see you on the next one.